Got my I-boards in, and I'm going to put them in, and I just want to show you the packing. They're packed really well. There's all the brackets and stuff in the box. I opened it up so you can see inside. And they've got pillow packs on each end of the board, and they're packed really well. So I'm not too concerned about getting any damage while they were shipping. And I'm going to put this on the truck I just bought. It's 2020 Z71 Silverado. And being short, in trouble getting in my box a lot of times, I bought the ones that runs the full length for both. It's a double cab, so it's both doors and getting in the toolbox. So these are a little bit extra long, but that's what I wanted. Open it all up. Here's all the parts. They're labeled for driver and passenger side for the brackets. And here's all the brackets. I like taking everything out of the package, laying them all out, and make sure everything is in the package before I ever start. So I always separate things out so I know where I'm at and what parts are what without trying to find them in a bag all the time. So it just makes it a little bit easier. And here's the instruction booklet with it, and we're about ready to get started. Here's the tools that I use to do this job. This is the plastic button head that went up in it. So you can see it's got little ridges on it. But it's a 4mm Allen. There's a 13mm wrench, a 10mm wrench, a pair of flat bill pliers to pull those plugs out, and I use a scratch awl to help pull up the edge of it. Just don't scratch your paint up and cause a rust problem. Here's a 10mm socket. That's to put the brackets and tighten them up together. And here's a drill driver, and it's got a 10mm on it. That's to tighten the running boards up. Don't tighten them too tight, you'll twist them out. So be real careful. If you're afraid you're going to get too tight, use a ratchet or a wrench. Here's the driver's side, completely installed. And we'll walk around and see the other side. And the other side is here now. And as you can see, it's very easy. It only took about 20 to 25 minutes to put this side on. There goes one of my pups. It only takes about 20-25 minutes to put this side on. That's because of taking so long getting everything figured up and on the first side. So hopefully this video will help anybody else putting one on for a double cab, full length running boards. They're not hard to put on. They're really nice, and I love the rubber completely covered from front to back. Some of them don't have the rubber on all the way, and you just never know where you're going to step. I love these type running boards. I got them the same ones on my other truck also. I appreciate y'all listening. Looking under the truck, here's one of the rubber plugs. And there's 4 pretty easily found. I used a screwdriver, kind of popped them out a little bit and took a pair of pliers and grabbed it and pulled it out easy because they're stuck pretty good. And there's 4 of them down through here. See, there's the other one. I've already pulled it out, and you can tell it's a threaded hole. And there's another one. And then on the very back, there's the other one. Here's those mounting holes with the rubber plugs, plastic plugs in them. As you can see, there's one here, there's one up here. And I had to use a screwdriver to pound them out and a pair of pliers to finish pulling them out. But each one down through here, all 4 mounting brackets are going to be basically the same as this right here. They're easy to find. So I'm going to put the bracket up and look at the rest of them. Here's the brackets mounted. As you can see, they're still loose. Because you need them loose when you lay your running boards up there. And that's in the first and the second. You skip the third. And then you go back to the 4th. And that's the rear one. The rear one's a little bit different. As you can see, this mounting bracket, the rear mounting bracket is here, but here's this plate. So this is going to help the running board when it sets up for the extra length that these are. So it's still all loose, But that's the rear mounting bracket. You skip the center one, the third one from the front, and there's the second set of holes, and there's the first mounting bracket. So it's pretty simple, it's not that hard. And takes a 13 millimeter for these nuts, and we're gonna put a running boards on next. I got my running board further back so I can get to it, so I can get in my toolbox. So it's even across the truck. But here's a little bit of a point of knowledge it doesn't really show to me. But see these hex heads? I put them in from the other way first, so I had to take them back out, raise the board up, and put them in from the bottom. This is critical because if you don't, you'll be doing the same thing. Put your bolt in from the bottom up, and your nut goes on the inside because you can't get to it with the Allen wrench from the top side because your board's in the way. Because all this has to stay loose till you get it all put together. So just a word of caution, put these in from the underside. This is the back bracket. But after that, it looks pretty good. Got it where I want it. And see, this is a double cab, and I want it all the way back so that I could reach my toolbox. When you're short, you have problems like that. So that's the reason why I got these longer boards, because it's going to be my work truck. But they turned out pretty nice. I'm real happy with them. Now this is the driver's side. The passenger side hooks up exactly the same way. It's just on the right-hand side. Here's the running board, and you put 5 of the square-headed bolts in the channel. And you can see them in the running board right there. But I got them laid down here where they pretty much line up with my brackets. That way when I flip it over, I can hit my holes a little bit easier. So we're going to flip it over now and then put the bolts on the bottom. Just to give you a little tip, on the rear, you've got this bracket, and it takes 6 of those T-bolts. Well, it's not so hard getting them lined up. The problem is lifting the board up enough to get your nuts on. So what I found out on the other side, it makes it a lot quicker on this side. When you put this one in, it's the furthest, it's the closest to the center. If you put your nut and washer just like one thread on, and then you move to the next one and put a nut and washer with just one thread, then you can put this one on then. Because if you don't, every time you pick it up, they're going to move a little bit and you'll be fighting these bolts because they're steadily coming out of the holes. So if you start on the center one, closest to the center, put a nut and washer, move to the next one, line it up, drop it in and do it, and then this one. And then on the other end, you do the same thing. The center bracket, put a nut and washer on it, and then move to the far end, put a nut and washer on it. It'll save you a lot of headache.